My name is Amy Jones, and I'm with WorkSource Southern Georgia, and I serve as the Business Services and Sector Partnership Coordinator. I had the opportunity to go out and talk with the businesses in our 18-county area, and I help them with their workforce retention and helping them try to find employees that maybe don't have the skills, but the opportunity to help train them for those skills on the job in that training scenario. And, with business services serving an 18-county area, it's really impossible for me individually to go serve every single business in all those counties. So I really partner with the chambers, with the development authorities, with those regional community partners, and I really help work with them to find those missing links and to get the community involved in trying to find resources, match those resources. I'm able to go out and talk with the businesses and find out what their needs are and find out how our programs can match those needs. So we held our South Georgia Healthcare Summit on February 23rd of this year in Tifton. When we first started planning the event, it was a little difficult not knowing if we should be in person, if we should try to plan another virtual event. And we really decided to go forward with it come February. We didn't know what it was going to look like. We didn't know if people were going to want to show up. We decided we would cap it at 200 to make it safe for everyone so they can feel comfortable and have some space. And we had 175 register. So we were very excited about that. I think the event went really well. We had some dynamic panelists. Our goal for that event was to focus on rural healthcare. So much of where we serve is rural communities, and we really wanted to highlight the rural communities, highlight those rural hospitals, because we feel like students coming out maybe overlook those, that they don't reach the standard that they are expecting. But we wanted them to see that that's not the case, that they're, excelling beyond. Angela Ammons, she's the CEO of Clinch Memorial Hospital. And when she started there, they were in the negative, and it was not a good situation. And she has turned that hospital around, and she's turned the community around. She's throwing resources into it, trying to look outside the box, and that kind of thing for a small community matters. And again, that panelist, those four dynamic women up there, I think said a lot to the area, that we serve. We did partner with Southwest Georgia. That increased it from, our 18 counties to all across South Georgia. And that really, gave a boost for our whole area, because we want to focus not just on one organization. The event really helped the audience get information, but then we moved to those roundtable discussions, and we were able to pull information from them individually. And that's where we get the really good data. We had some really fantastic nuggets that we could pull from that. Some of those include new programs that they're hoping to implement, such as pharmacy tech and even master's programs in occupational therapy. And we also heard them talk about in the K through 12 breakout session, they talked about, they have a lot of soft skills training, but they want to really work on that sensitivity training as well, and how to bring those students up to a bigger understanding than beyond themselves. Some more information that we kind of gathered was, every organization has an onboarding process. Well, they were talking about having a 30, 60, 90-day onboarding process, and each of those milestones have different aspects of it, different training, and that's really to build retention. Another thing that we had talked about in the breakout sessions that we learned is every organization has a company policy, but the information that they have in there has got to be reviewed. Some policies may need to be eliminated. Some policies may need to be updated. Some policies may need to be created. And that's really been a highlight for the last 2 years with everything that people have gone through, that, maybe not just a full-time shift, but a lot of PRN and what that means as far as the work-life balance. And so That's a lot of different information that we received. As part of the summit, we had a survey. We've gotten quite a few responses, and I thought it was interesting because we asked of the summit, what 4 portions did you like the best? And it's all over the place. Not everybody loved the employer panel and not everybody loved the employee panel, but I think having those different aspects that serve to different people, there was some piece of it that somebody loved the most. And I think that was important. The other thing that we really learned is that we have to get better at sharing our resources, especially those community partners. We had so many community partners that offer different aspects that can really feed into those employers, that can feed into the K through 12 and the post-secondary, and just trying to figure out how to put all of that together, how to make that as one bundle. How do we decipher all of that? Who fits in what? But we really want to look at being able to share those resources because there's just such a wealth of information out there. My future hopes for the summit for coming up, we do hope to make that an annual event. I would love to have an event where we have students come, those students that maybe don't have a path after school, if they haven't taken the SAT, if they haven't taken the ACT, and they're just not sure what they're going to do and maybe don't even think that post-secondary is an opportunity for them. I really want to have that opportunity maybe in an evening or in the weekend where they can come, their parents can come. We have all those resources available at one. We have a employer panel, we have the employee highlights, and they can hear all that information. And maybe they've never even experienced something like that. But I want to give them those opportunities, and then all of our programs can really wrap around that and give them those opportunities. So our partnership with the different hospitals, so far we've had a partnership with Bacon County Hospital, and they developed through the pandemic their own CNA program. And that was an in-house program, and we partner with them to find people that didn't have experience, bring in an OJT program, and they did their in-house CNA, and then they continued that with their on-the-job training, and they were able to gain their certifications. We would love to be able to expand that. We did have some funding constraints this year and could not continue it at this point, but our goal is to find different ways to where we can fund that opportunity. Between Tift Regional Medical Center and Clinch Memorial, I had spoken about Clinch Memorial previously. When I first started in January 2017, my job was to go out to all the different employers and gain their support for this grant. Every single employer that I spoke to said yes, except for Clinch Memorial Hospital. And at that point, that CEO was not engaged and he was not interested. But now Clinch Memorial is again that hospital that is a shining star in the community in all of South Georgia, but because of what they're doing. And so I have a meeting with them in a couple of weeks. We want to discuss increasing those OJT opportunities. And we want to maybe even talk about that candy striper that was discussed at the summit. I was a candy striper when I was 13 years old. It gave me the opportunity to go in on a volunteer basis and really kind of get that hospital setting and to kind of give back. Personally, that was not something I wanted to do, but I learned that early on. I didn't waste time taking classes and figure that out later. And so we want to make this a paid opportunity, maybe through work experience on our out-of-school youth or in-school youth, and have that opportunity for kids to come in during the summer, have some educational component to it where they can really learn as they're earning and increase that pathway, because that's really what we want to talk about, is increasing that pathway in K through 12 so that we can fill those positions that are left open. Tift Regional has been involved with the program from the very beginning. They were one of our biggest allies in this work, and they have a simulation center that is there on site. We're trying to talk with them about how we can utilize that throughout the community, not just in-house as Tift Regional. And those are different opportunities, but we've done webinars with Tift Regional. They've been very hands-on in what we're doing in our different working groups, and they were fantastic in helping those students really understand what employers are looking for as they're filling out applications, as they're going through that interview process. And we want to just continue that work. And we've just been really happy with how Tift Regional has stepped up and been part of that. Actually, our workforce board chair is now the HR manager at Clinch, and that's a new position for him. And so he's very keen to what workforce is about and the programs that we offer. And so he had to take, 6-8 months and kind of get himself acclimated. But now he's in a position where he's ready to pull us in and really get those programs involved with Clinch. So I'm excited about that. Roberta and I were talking yesterday about how we can utilize the National Dislocated Worker Grant, those funds, to marry those with our healthcare sector and bringing people in that have been long-term unemployed, that are not sure what path they want to be in, and really help them see the opportunities that are available in the healthcare fields. And so trying to figure out what areas we can expand that on. We want to be very careful to not grow too fast. We are a small organization. We only have me and one other person that works in business services. So we don't want to spread ourselves too thin, but we want to make a program that works, that has a good foundation, and then we can build on that. And that's part of what we're hoping to do with the Candy Striper position with Clinch. Get that going, really figure out what those key factors that work, and then build on that. Our goal as the Regional Commission and as WorkSource Southern Georgia is a regional approach. We want to look at it as collaboration, as collaborative, and have those employers talking. The pandemic has made in-person collaborations pretty hard, but we're looking forward to increasing awareness, building a strong foundation for future sector partnerships, and connecting talent with opportunity. We've made such progress despite having a few setbacks. And we think that's a testimony to how we operate at WorkSource Southern Georgia. We're caring, we're very optimistic, we look for those solutions. I can speak for WorkSource Southern Georgia, and we are so appreciative of these sector partnerships. And we hope to continue our work and enhance the pathway for our in-demand jobs. We're changing the lives of participants across Southern Georgia, and we can't wait to build onto this work.